Across the river from downtown Cincinnati, in Covington, Kentucky's main Strauss, and from the beautiful Village Sight Sound and Stage, it's Fret Buzz. Featuring Mike Reeder. William Gilmore Weber. And the lovely Janelle Stevens as the barista. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Mike Reeder.
Hello, and welcome back to Fret Buzz. This is our 6th episode, and it's been an adventure so far, hasn't it, William? Yeah. Anyway, this is William Weber, my co-host, and we have some great artists here today. We're going to play some cool songs and enjoy some vintage guitars from Mike's Music and some fabulous coffee from Branch Hill Coffee.
With the lovely Jonelle.
With the lovely Jonelle is
Yes,
our barista today. And we got Drew Lanus today, Andrea Simler-Digoulet. I wasn't even close, was I?
You nailed
Pretty good. William G. Weber.
Yes.
The fabulous William Gilmore.
You said the
Weber.
G right.
I did. You know, you made me say G, and it stuck in my
G.
mind. We have Jamin Zeiler and
Got that
Billy
right.
McCarthy, right?
McCarthy, yes.
McCarthy, yes. And they all have some fabulous, great songs that they're going to play for us here.
Cool.
Who had a gig last night? Anybody? Yes, me. You were there, so you
I was there,
You
yeah.
count.
You know, they cut my tab off, so I had to leave.
Oh, did they? Well, you know, I tried to hook you up. But
Well,
there's
actually,
a limit to everything.
Actually, it said declined, but it's the same thing.
Good. Where'd you play, Drew?
We were at Belterra Casino in Indiana.
Right on.
At Friday and Saturday.
Do they make you gamble for your pay?
No, but I did gamble this time, and I don't do it normally, and I won $625.
Holy crap.
Wow!
Last night?
The drinks are on Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
Brunch
Wow,
after?
congrats.
Yeah,
Did you go
no.
to brunch?
But I did take the guys
Cracker
out for
Barrel.
something to eat.
What did you do? Like blackjack or something?
No, I actually put $100 in a slot machine and lost it, and I took $100 more out of my bank account, and I lost it, and I thought, well, crap. I should get another $100 out. And so I did, and I went to the high limit room and stuck it in a slot machine. $10 a spin. I was down to $20 and hit a bonus, and it paid out $625. And on the way out the door, I put the other $20 in another slot machine, a Monty Python slot machine.
Of course, yeah.
And I won $160, and then I got out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good move.
Yeah.
Woo. Nice
Yeah.
work.
I've
No,
al-
just like, I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't spend that much in Las Vegas. I was there for 3 days. How does
Yeah.
that happen?
You know, I've never, when I go through Vegas, I never spend money there. I usually just hang out and go to buffets.
There's a lot
Yeah.
to see.
I went to
Don't gamble.
Atlantic City once, taking a bus from Manhattan. It was like 2.5 hours of old ladies, like, you know. So I get down there, and I only had $40. 5 minutes later, I was like at the buffets. And, you know, and it was like 4 hours till the bus would go back.
Yeah, so you ate for 4 hours at the buffet.
Nah, well, again, declined.
I was at a guitar show in Philly, and this guitar dealer went to Atlantic City, and he came back and he bought guitars with chips the whole weekend. He said he won so much money that he didn't
Tell
cash it
me
in.
one story about the guy who never gambles. You don't have to tell his name, but like he found a token on the floor and put it in a slot machine.
Oh, I don't remember it all. You'll have to tell it.
Yeah, well, I think you were in Vegas, and this guy
Oh, yeah.
doesn't gamble at all, but he found a token on the floor and just like put it in the slot machine. He won like 10 grand.
Oh, yeah.
For, you know,
Nice.
just one spin.
Yeah.
And everybody's like,
Beginner's
That was an
luck.
interesting guitar show, by the way. That guitar show was supposed to be like for bursts, like for 15 Les Pauls, and there was like 20 of them in the
oh, yeah,
room.
yeah. I was there then.
It was
I
by
did-
invite only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and him, we traveled out there with another guy.
Yeah,
And I remember I asked you, I said, well, I let those guys drive and I flew. And is this the time where you
Yeah.
guys drove out? I said, only thing is don't smoke in my van. So I get in my
Two
van.
smokers. Two
They
smokers.
lasted about a block, and I got in there, and it was like, oh my God.
We're gonna get Reader. You know, but that was
And Andrea, you still in the chakras, hitting it hard?
It's just chakras.
Just chakras?
Yeah.
Well, that's
No
okay.
E.
No what?
No,
I've also lost the
the
in Billy
Oh,
Rock.
no,
right.
the.
Yes.
It's just chakras.
Oh, the no,
Right.
no, the okay.
So,
Now
yeah.
is that spelt the same way, like a chakra?
Yes,
Okay,
like
not
the yoga.
Very cool.
CHAKRAS. Chakras.
Every time I hear the name, I think of Al Gore.
Really?
Chakra
Yeah.
and all.
Well, we weren't going
There
for
was an
that.
old joke where he said, well, he was, never mind.
No, wait, what was
Okay.
it? What was it?
Oh, I don't know. There was this thing on the radio where they would say, "Release my chakras," and it was like Thea's voice. And it would be, they played it all the time on the radio, and so
never
every
heard
time I
that.
hear that, I think of that. So.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Anyway, you're a
you
wonderful
guys-
band,
Thank you.
and I love playing with you guys. We have a gig coming up, right?
Yes, October
Halloween.
25th, my birthday.
Yes.
Ah, nice.
It's
Yeah.
Scorpio season soon, isn't it, Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, at York Street Cafe.
York Street Cafe with the Earl Diamond Band,
They have good pie.
Oh yes, oh yes, they do.
and Arcadian Bliss,
Yeah.
and Chalkeye.
And chakras, yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
wait
gonna
to
be
do
fun.
that. So
That's
what are you
fun.
gonna dress up as? You want to let us know?
Gosh, I'm gonna just go all out because it's my birthday and near Halloween and at York Street. So
That'd
Yes.
be like a birthday suit. No.
That would be a show right there.
probably not going that far, but I'll think of something fun.
Okay. What about you? What are you going to do for Halloween, William?
Scare kids like usual, I guess. I don't know. Eat their chocolate. And, I don't know.
Hey, did you have any reaction from the chocolate and the coffee last time?
No, I'm not allergic to coffee.
Hey, but you know what? Your spot healed up.
My spot did.
It was
heal
probably
up.
'cause you had
Now I got
chocolate.
a new one I'm working on over here.
Okay.
Same thing. Cutting myself.
We
short.
always have the wart updates with William at the show.
At least it's a war.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Where did you play?
Traveling's good. Last night, Metamora at the Opry House.
All
Wow.
right.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
It was
been
nice.
there.
It's a nice room.
I've never been in there. It sounds good. Sounds like a nice.
Yeah,
Place
it's
to play.
it's a nice room. I
Nice
loved
little
it.
rustic town, like
It
you know,
is.
scenic, knick-knack kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a pretty cool little town. Had some fudge. Fudge
yeah,
is good.
How about
Alright.
salt water? Don't they sell salt water?
They do, but I
camping?
ran out of time. I'm always early for gigs, and so I left in plenty of time. I thought I went on at 7. I went supposed to go on at 6.
Oh.
So I got
Well, there's
there
a time
20
change
of,
in there.
20 to 6 because I'm always early.
It's
Little sound-
Metamora time.
And
Yeah.
I look at it and it says show starts at 6. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, it doesn't.
It starts when I.
Get off the marker and start changing it.
It was 6:10 when I started.
Oh, you did all right.
Yeah, it was good.
It's not
It
too
was
bad.
nice.
That's
It was-
on time in rock and roll.
Yeah, it was
life.
casual. And it was nice. It was a fun show. I enjoyed it.
Well, cool. I can't wait to get out there and check that out. That sounds like a
Yeah.
cool place.
Yeah, you should actually do that because
Yeah, I think we might be too scary for the Metamora.
yeah,
We're kind of a bit spooky.
they do focus on bluegrass and blues, which is kind of what I was.
We have some bluegrass stuff, but not enough to do a whole set. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
not really bluegrass anyway. It's sort of like
Appalachian
hill people.
goth.
Yeah, Appalachian goth,
My-
kind of hill people stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Appalachian Goth.
That's what we call it, actually.
That's
Good genre.
fabulous. I like that.
What about you, Billy?
I was at Live at Latitudes out in Anderson, where they have enjoyed a new and exciting facelift. They've built a new stage. And this is what I really appreciate about venues that kind of take up the torch and go, we are going to make music the focal point here. As opposed to, we've all played the gigs where you're moving tables in a restaurant and they're like,
People
yeah,
in-
you guys can be over in the corner. They've made you the feature, and I appreciate that.
And they go live, right? Did they go live on
They
your show?
do. They do.
Yes, so if you go to Live at Latitude's Facebook page, I think they have those in their like past
Yes.
videos. You can
Good, bad,
you can
and
watch Billy's whole
indifferent.
show.
Yeah, so you're being captured as it's happening. So
And that was the Billy Rock Band, right?
Billy Rock Band.
Yeah,
That's correct.
that's-
It's not
cool.
the Billy Rock.
Oh yeah,
Billy
they lost
Rock
the
We've changed.
Billy Rock.
Billy Rock.
Somebody
Well, got
leave.
rid
Or,
of the right.
Yes.
It's not the Ukraine. It's Ukraine. And it's not the Billy Rock Band.
That's all. Remember that from now on. So wonderful coffee today.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Branch Hill. What do we have today, Janelle?
Today's coffee from Branch Hill is Italian espresso. It has a strong, smooth, robust flavor. It tastes wonderful as an espresso or fantastic as a brewed coffee.
All right. That sounds great. I mean, I love it. What do you think?
like I said, I usually drink espresso roast at the house.
Yeah.
Then I add another addition onto the house.
Yeah, what do you put in there?
Coffee.
Oh, okay.
Used grounds. It's like
I thought you were
it's
talking
like
about
a
alcoholic
compost,
kind of addition.
Oh well,
Yeah,
the ratio is always changing. So.
I see. Yeah, well, I think it's great, man. It's no chocolate this time,
Correct.
so it sets well with you, doesn't it?
I'm not allergic to chocolate. I'm just nuts. I mean, actually, I have an allergy to chocolate, so I'll probably be real fun towards the end.
That'll be an interesting show.
Coffee's
I know
not
you're
really,
nuts. But
Coffee's not really a nut, though, is it? I mean, anybody?
it's a bean, right?
It's a bean. Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but no, I can take chocolate. I could take it or leave it. So.
Well, Mike's Music has given us some great guitars, and we're going to pick our guitars. Actually, everyone's already picked their guitar.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on to some cool songs from Drew next.
Awesome.
We're back on the show, and we're going to listen to Drew's awesome tune he's going to play for us.
Yeah.
And Drew has picked a D45. That guitar is from 1968. It's one of the few Brazilian D45s ever made.
Now, is that the detail around it, like the double binding? Was that 45?
Yeah, D45 is the most elaborate of the Martins. It has abalone on the front, the sides, the back, the heel.
Well, the fret markers, or are those?
Yeah,
That's abalone, I believe.
Yeah. One of the differences between the early ones, which are like $400,000, the really, really early ones, and the 60s ones, because they started reintroducing them in late 67, 68, is if you look down by the strap button on the bottom of the guitar where your hand is, there's a little strip there. The original ones didn't have that. So whenever you see that, and you see, you see, it's a 68 or 69. They made them 67, 68. 69.
Now, is the upper strap button on the bottom of the neck, was that a standard thing, or is that somebody else?
No, that's added.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that guitar I bought from the original owner. It was the widow of the original owner, and she was, I believe, from Chattanooga. And I drove down there and got the guitar. It's a one-owner guitar. It's all original. It's one of the cleanest ones
beautiful.
I've ever seen in my life.
It's beautiful.
And I did not change the strings. The day I bought it, probably like a year ago, I changed the strings. So those are new strings that have not been played very much, but
They
old
call that
strings.
new old stock, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Did she give you the backstory on her husband or how he acquired it?
Yeah, I have all that stuff, and it has like the original hang tags. And
Oh, gee.
the whole bit, yeah.
That's fabulous.
Originally, she had taken that guitar to, I believe, the Nashville Guitar Show and got chased around and just totally, maybe. It's all, it's all whatever you like, William. Maybe.
Chase around. That's
It might be your kind of thing. You never know. So anyway, yeah, she was just overwhelmed because the guitar dealers attacked her. And I gave her my card, I think, and I just said, go home and think about it. And about a year later, she called me. So that's how I got the guitar. And I met her and her daughter at like a McDonald's somewhere. Made the big deal.
Did she struggle with getting rid of it?
Yeah, she did. I don't think she had any idea that she had a really expensive guitar the first time. By that point, a year had passed, and a lot of things had happened.
What'd they go for new? Do you know?
You got
Had
the
to be
hang
That
of it.
was the most expensive
Yeah, it
guitar.
had to be a lot,
I do
even
not
for
know, but I
68.
bet it was close to I don't know. Probably.
800.
Yeah, maybe we'll look that up and we'll fly that in the show.
Yeah, a D28 was maybe $375.
I was thinking they were around $300 or
something.
$400. Yeah.
In the late 60s.
Yeah.
Late 60s.
Back then, though, that was.
Yeah.
That was probably
That's before 74.
couple
and the
grand
first
in
gas
today's
crunch.
world, you know. So yeah, I mean that's how I got that guitar, and it's been one of my dream guitars because I'm a big Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young fan, and they all played those guitars. They all had 68s.
Wow.
If you look at the videos, they're all playing that exact same guitar.
I think
And-
Crosby just recently did a walkthrough with some of his stuff. I saw
yeah.
online, and they might have actually shown.
He
his.
remembered.
They play those guitars all the time. Neil plays it all the time live, and they love those guitars. I think I saw a video where Crosby was using that song or that guitar on a song. So yeah, man, what are you going to play for us, Drew?
I'm going to do a song called "A Matter of Will." I wrote it on Christmas Eve in 2015. It's just kind of one of those catharsis songs, you know, when you go through something, you come out the other side of it with a little wisdom.
You got
know?
to show like what catharsis means, like a dictionary.
Yeah, a little subtitle or something. So it's one of those kind of songs. It's not autobiographical so much as it is just introspective, you know.
Is this on an Eden Park record?
It's not, and I think and it may or may not appear on that. We've got a side project, Jay Aronoff and myself, with Brandon Schlunt and Donovan Schlunt, and we haven't really released anything yet, but we've got some stuff that's partially in the works. This has been kind of slated for that. We'll see
this
what
is
happens.
like an exclusive for us.
Yeah, another Fret Buzz exclusive.
This has never really been heard out of a very small set of people, and I did it at a couple of shows with Jay a couple of years ago when I first wrote it, and after that we haven't touched it.
Wow.
So
Well, you requested a 12-string actually, and one of my customers actually bought the 12-string I brought for you, and things got shifted around, and you ended up with that guitar, which I think is a really cool guitar.
it's great. I'm fine with it. That's a beautiful guitar, but when I played this, it was like, wow.
It's like magical,
Holy
right?
cow, that's really
On
good
our
sounding
last
guitar.
break, I hit buy it now for that. So it's like,
Oh, it's you. Well, I'll never get paid. So
neither of them.
you said you wrote it in Christmas. What year?
Christmas Eve, 2015.
So was there an influence on that day, or like just?
No, I think it was just one of those things. You finally come to a point where you've gone through mentally a lot of stuff, and you think about it, and you come to the other side, and you've made your mind up of what you've got your perspective on it, and it's one of those songs. It's songs like that are for me have always been liberating. When especially if they're personal, and you come to the other side.
Releases the soul.
Yeah, and it does, and it gives you something. It's a punctuation, I think, not just personally, but I think creatively too. To be able to take that, whatever it is you go through, and transform it into something that other people can relate to, and that's what we do is supposed to be about.
It's like
Yeah, and Christmas time.
slice of life.
Absolutely.
Like,
And it
Christmas
doesn't have
time
to be
brings out
something-
those feelings anyway because of family things,
Sure.
and, new birth and the whole deal.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm with you there, man.
I think for myself as a writer, I want to get something out of what I do, and hopefully other people do too. People are going to draw their own conclusions. They say, "What's this song about?" It's just kind of about this and that, and the McCartney answer. It's like love each other and try to do something positive.
Well, that's what the best songs are about.
Yeah. So
All right.
this song is a little bit of a Renaissance style song in the stylistically, I think, but.
You should have wore your Joker outfit. You could have danced around. All right.
You guys ready to hear it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this is it's called A Matter of Will. You were formed in a different age, of the dust of the land, whispering winds making words amaze, just like the lines in your hands, building temples to enshrine the stain of holy men looking down. secret stitched together with pain. Why the smile deaf to the sound? Whoa, 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 whoa. Gather round the creature deep within and feast upon this malaise. Scratch the surface, tear the shield away, and see the light of the day. Turn away from the sinking stone, so long attached to your heel. Ooh, from the edge, move now, never to yield. Forever is a matter of will. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hear the mystic minstrel misfit underneath the stage. She's melancholy, but she can't resist it. Stop the press, hold for the front page. In the valley of desperation, shadowed by the stony mountainside, the soft waters of adoration give you nothing, nothing but the depth in which to hide. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was awesome, man. Really enjoyed that.
We do a longer ending with the rest of the band, but
Yeah.
for solo purposes, that's
I hope you're not
That's
insulted,
great.
But you said the Renaissance. It reminded me of like Jethro Tull.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
yeah, it has the
Oh,
old,
thanks.
that
We
old
got
feel.
the first couple of times we tested it out on people. They said sounds like Stairway to Heaven, but I had this change where I was doing
didn't
that
pick up on that,
and
did you?
on like every turnaround, and I changed it where I only did that once.
Man, I didn't hear Stairway to Heaven at all.
Nah,
You know, you were saying Renaissance, and I said Joker, but I meant your jester outfit, actually. So the whole time I was picturing you dancing around in jester outfit.
Me and
yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix.
What's awesome is in Eden Park Band, at least, Randy Villars plays clarinet and sax, and then Tim McCord plays keys and sax and the flute.
Oh,
So we
wow.
have all these woodwinds in the band.
Nice.
And I'm hoping that, if we do happen to perform this with the band, which I've never really pressured Eden Park to play my outside stuff.
Yeah.
So, but some of them have expressed a desire to do it. So that could be cool.
Oh, you
especially
gotta
with the
put the
woodwinds
woodwinds
would
in
make
there.
it really
Yeah,
eclectic.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
You should work that out with the
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
man.
so too.
It's
We've
got
been
great
talking about it.
changes.
Yeah, and that guitar sounded super
Oh,
mellow
God,
and
yeah.
perfect for that. I mean,
Did.
So
yeah.
Beautiful guitar. Beautiful guitar.
So if people wanted to hear that, where besides Fret Buzz, is it going to be available?
DrewSongs.com is my
Yeah.
website, and EdenParkBand.com is the band's website. But you can go to DrewSongs.com and link from there to my solo albums on there, all of the Eden Park Band original material. We did a cover of What's Going On with the keyboard player from Kool and the
that.
Gang, Odine Mays, and then there's some stuff. Randy Villars and I did a Christmas EP, 2 Christmas songs, Tearjerkers, great songs, just piano vocal. So there's a lot of different stuff. It's very wide brush. Some of it's just straight up rock and roll. Some of it's really, really
Yeah, you
soft.
guys are all over the ballpark.
Yeah,
I
it's-
love that about you.
And we love it too because we
breaks things up.
It gives us a chance to, because we like a lot of different stuff. I mean,
Yeah, man.
half my guys in the band are jazz musicians. So, and they're in a classic rock band
Yeah.
that also does some originals.
Great singers, all of them.
Yeah, we were really
Very
lucky. So,
Well, we really enjoyed it. Did you like the guitar, the way it sounded on
I
there?
love it, and I'll take it.
I bought it. Declined. So it's like,
Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar, and one thing I like about Mike's music is to come through here and see all the guitars, and they're not just this location, the one in Clifton, and when some of my friends and other bands would come through town, I sent, I don't know, do you see Dave Amato when he came in?
Yeah.
I sent him over to you.
Yeah, he did. He was super nice too, man.
He
He's
looked
such a nice
at,
guy.
Looked at some guitar amps, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he had like 14 of the one he was looking at. So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
he was a really nice dude. I think he actually went to Sin Store. We talked for a while, and then he came down here too.
Yeah, he did. He went
Yeah.
to both.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that was a great song, man.
well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was.
I'm so glad you made it.
I did. It's early, but I
Yeah.
want it for a musician.
With hints of chocolate, fruit, mild acidity, smooth without any add-ons, and you can drink as you prefer.
the show gets cooler and cooler, man.
You know, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would be a good idea.
Baked goods.
Yeah. I was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Noah Dice?
Yeah, I'd say they're Noah Nice, which is the top level of nice.
Well, my CDs were damaged in a flood, or the Covington flood of 2019.
Oh, you got a vintage one.
So instead of going gold, we went mold.
He has the guitar that you want really bad, Cody.
It's fake.
And you want to give it to Cody.
And is letting us keep all these.
Yeah!
What a guy!
Okay, we'll call that cut on one. That was a really, really weird one. Yeah. Maybe we need to do it again. We're back on the show.
Hey,
We got my good friend Andrea with us and her guitar player that's in the Chakras, Rob Olson.
Yep, not the shot.
Just Chakra. Sorry. I got to get that right, man.
Billy and I were on this new mission here.
Ukraine, not the Ukraine.
Chakras.
Yeah. So thanks, guys, for coming in. I appreciate it. This is kind of a new thing for us, bringing in two people. We've done it once before. You're the second time. Yeah, we had
Two and two.
Yeah, we had Go-Go Buffalo in. The
They're-
Moore brothers
they're
came.
fun.
Yeah, they were an adventure.
They're
We appreciate you guys coming. I love your
Appreciate
band,
you.
by the way. You're one of my favorite guitar players, by the way, Rob. Seriously, man.
Thank you.
What you guys do is amazing. And I've seen your band with multiple guitar players
Yes,
at this
you have.
point.
Yeah.
And I love this version.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's-
it's really good.
means a lot
You guys are
from
always
you.
great, but particularly wonderful.
Aw,
And I know
thank
you do a lot of cool guitar stuff, right? Don't you like go to NAMM shows and?
Yeah, the Hofner Company, the Maton Company,
Yeah.
EBS from Sweden, Matt Professor from Finland. I've been doing a Hofner thing for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I had a big part of the Beatles stuff. and,
Yeah.
all the limited editions and stuff. It's been fun.
That's super neat. So you were involved in the design of that?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff. Not the original Beatle bass, I wasn't born. Maybe in my sleep.
Well, that's super cool.
Who's known for playing?
How did you guys meet anyway?
He answered the ad when we needed a guitar player. And
Oh, really?
He came in and was just personality was awesome, playing was awesome.
So how long did it take him not to put the in front?
About 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, he just got there
it's
too.
so common. Trust me, it's common. We say no, the Chakras, because there's
Right.
an English band called the Chakras.
Oh yeah, we can't go there.
Yeah.
So your Chakra is USA.
Yeah, right. Oh, I like that.
So do you guys got any release stuff coming up? Or?
We've been working on new music,
Uh-huh.
actually just last week. So it takes us a long time to do everything because everyone's schedules are pretty ramped up. So we want to probably come out with something next summer, I think. Is that a good schedule? Yeah, sooner the better. Everybody wants to really break out some new music.
Tell everybody about the band, the pieces. You have a cello, which is amazing.
Yes, our beautiful cello
cool.
player,
Yeah.
Patrice.
Love her.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
Yeah.
And then Mary Beth is bass player, and then
Uh-huh.
Steve is our crazy drummer.
Yeah, he's great.
And
drummer.
he's also in Carrion.
Yep.
So he has
What
two.
drummer isn't great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just did their record here with Brian.
I know. I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear that.
Yeah,
it's coming out in
it
February.
sounds amazing. I got the video, some of it, and it
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
they're
We got to get
great.
you guys in here, man.
Yes, we need to get in here.
We'd love
So
to do
we're
that.
working on it. Yeah. Yeah.
So what song are you going to do for us?
This one's called Swagger. We went out to Ojai. We had the opportunity to go out to Ojai and work with Joe Ciccarelli,
Oh, neat.
who worked with Zappa and Flaming Lips, and just so we got great opportunity. We spent 2 weeks out there at one of the players from 311's house and studio. So this is called Swagger, and it's kind of when our bass player was in a motorcycle accident. She was in really bad shape afterward, and she was down for like 6 months. So we had to practice at her house, literally with her like on the couch.
Oh, poor thing.
So it was summertime, windows were open, it was really lovely, and this song just started, and it was about her kind of coming back.
No, is that about her walk or something like that? I mean, it wasn't a little insulting, no. Was it?
No, it's all about getting your swagger back.
That's cool.
You know, it's all about someone going through something really horrible and coming through it and fighting really hard to get back where you need to be and getting your swagger back.
Now, how did that take place? Did you have the melody, or did you come up with the words first? Or
Usually I just do, guitar will come first. I do just kind of sounds. Like I get my intonations and phrasing, and I don't really do lyrics first. It's kind of a bunch of nonsense I sing, really. Just getting my intonation and vocal melodies together. And then how I feel, I'll put the lyrics to that. So I kind of need to feel it out.
do you play guitar too? Do you play? So you get the vocal melodies, kind of sing it to him, and then he accompanies the vocal melodies?
I would say guitar always starts it, and then
and then you add the melody.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. But you have the concept of the song usually, or sometimes.
Or the flow, or like
Not
just
really.
The,
No, usually I depend on the guitar player to come in and kind of just, he'll play something and I'll feel it and start, you know.
So did you get the idea for the song and the concept of the song from just watching what she was going through when you were writing the lyrics?
Well, right in the moment when it started, it was really fluid. It was really, this one came to us really quick.
Just poured out of you.
Yeah.
That's
and with
cool,
her
man.
laying there on the couch, and it was a really beautiful day, and like, Mary Beth's so funny because her hair is really lovely when she doesn't straighten it. And so she was, there, and she looked like this beautiful maiden with this hair. And I was just, I don't know, it was a really surreal moment of like, girl, you're gonna get there. you know, 'cause-
Took her
Nice.
6
Well,
months to
she's-
recover, though.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, I had a bad motorcycle wreck when I was young too, and I broke my collarbone and
Oh, my
cracked my
gosh.
skull and broke my arm and a whole
Yeah,
bunch of stuff. So
she
I
has-
haven't been back on. So
Her leg, and she has like metal in her leg still.
Oh,
and
man.
It was,
Is she riding again?
no, thankfully.
yeah, I never did
Yeah.
either. You go through something like that. I hit a dog actually, and I went over the handlebars like 60 yards or whatever is where I landed because I was
Wow.
going like 50 miles an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, she.
You're lucky you're here.
Yeah.
And hers was on Memorial Day weekend too, so some of the lyrics are kind of linked in with like the holiday and
Wow.
kind of being you're on this beautiful day, beautiful road, and all of a sudden your life just changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can't wait to hear the song, man.
Wake up in the morning light, flags are waving in the sky. Holidays on the outside. then you see your life and you survived. Hours and hours of surgeries, you will bless the day you'll be paid free, and then you see you are alive. You are stronger than you know. Release your fury and you'll heal it all again. You get your swagger back. Release your fury and you're coming back. You are stronger than you know. Release your fury, you're coming on. You will have heal it all. Release your fury, you know you are strong. You are strong. Release your fury, get your swagger back. You will get your swagger back. Release your fury and you'll come along. You're strong. You are strong.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah.
Thanks.
That was lovely.
I must say, can I just admit that like playing like this is intimidating because I'm so used to playing with a loud band.
It's really
You did
scary,
great.
isn't it?
Thank you.
I love it.
I don't get
But it's more
nervous when I'm in
personal.
front of like on stage with my band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Thank
like
you guys.
But
It's
like
like
William
naked.
said, I mean, you know, the one of the points of this is so people can grasp the concept of the songs because we all know live
True.
it's overlooked. I mean, half the time people don't even know
Right.
And it is,
what you're
yeah.
saying, you know, and we can get the point of the song, which we did. That was wonderful, really good.
Yeah.
You can actually hear the lyrics, which is
That-
Yeah,
yeah.
That guitar, man.
yeah,
It's lovely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. You know, that guitar is kind of special because it's a custom color. Those were all sunburst mostly, and then they were custom ordered in colors, and so that's one of very few in Candy Apple Red, and it has a matching headstock, which the normal ones don't have. And that is the guitar that was on Stairway to Heaven. That's what Jimmy used.
Really?
On Stairway to
way.
Heaven. Most people
wait,
don't know that.
Not that one.
Well, not that guitar, but that Fender 12 string
Really?
is actually the
Cool.
12 string.
You know,
that's on-
yeah, kind of hear it.
and it's on a lot of Who albums, and you know that 12 string is used a lot more than people realize. Tom Petty used it a lot. You know, most people think of Rickenbackers for electric 12s, but that's an interesting guitar in a lot of ways because
A lot of different sounds.
yeah, and Fender used a very similar pickup in their precision basses, which is sort of a split humbucker. Actually, those two coils cancel each other out, and it's a humbucking thing. And also another feature on the guitar that's kind of rare is it has a four-way switch, which is the neck pickup, the lead pickup or bridge pickup, and then it has an out of phase, and then a not out of phase, which is really unusual.
So was
What
that
year
more
is it?
custom order also, maybe? Or is that just how they did it?
No, they were all like that. The wiring was all the same, but only the color would be the difference in the custom order. It's a 65. It's the first year.
Cool.
They made them from 65 to 69, if I remember correctly. You know it's the first year because there's no binding on the neck, and it has dots. So the way I always think of those guitars is the first ones have binding and dot, and then later in 65, I mean no binding and dot, and then later in 65 they have binding and dots.
Wow.
And then from that point on they have blocks. So the very first ones are like that. and
65.
it's only a custom color one would have a white guard. The tortoise guards are on the sunburst ones. They have tortoise guards. So
it kind of looked like their Bass 6 thing in a way.
yeah, and those guitars never really sold, even though a lot of people kind of used them. They never sold. So what Fender did, because Leo would never waste anything, is he made another guitar model out of that. And if you look up, I think it's called a Maverick, they are used parts of the 12 strings to make that guitar.
Like the neck, like the huge headstock, or
Body shape.
Yeah, they used the headstock, and they used pieces of that guitar just to get rid of them because Leo never wasted anything.
Yeah, well, probably couldn't afford to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a cool guitar. I think it sounded great for the song. It was a perfect thing for that song.
And I like the swells.
And thanks, Rob, for being willing to.
Yes.
You had last pick of the guitar, and you grabbed the 12 string, so we really appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. You guys sounded amazing.
Thanks, Mike.
Can't
Thanks for
wait
having
to
us.
get out with you guys. We do a festival together called the New Music Festival, which we've done 2 times.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be doing it again this year.
Yeah, we need to.
Where's that at?
We need to get
back
that
in.
going. We did it at the Southgate House both times. And, originally it was for kind of new bands because at the time a lot of our friends had new bands, but we're going to open it up to new music, new songs.
Yeah.
So it's not only going to be new bands,
Cool.
but, new albums coming out, new songs.
Yep.
We gotta get
Morella's
back on-
been such a supporter of that, so she's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. That was wonderful.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
I chased a squirrel out of here one time with Mark Rea.
No, that sounds like a good story, though.
I know a lot of them came in.
You had a squirrel hanging on the back display case on one of the most expensive basses.
Really?
And I said,
Was he
"Hey,"
playing it?
That's what I said,
Yeah.
Mark. I said, that squirrel's hanging on that rail. He said, well, at least he's got good taste.
It's like a cartoon.
But we ended up herding him to the front and using guitar cases and an old Marshall that was sitting up front to get the squirrel outside.
It cost
was like a whole ordeal.
$30,000 to get him out, but
$35,000.
How did you get him out? You wheeled him out on a Marshall?
No, we used guitar cases. It was me, Mark, and another guy, and we sat there and built barriers, and we got him trapped under a Marshall in the front right corner of the store for about 40 minutes, and we were teasing with him and finally got him to run
Well,
out.
you know what? That could be an episode of Fret Buzz. We could let him loose in here.
Strap a
and
GoPro
yeah.
on that squirrel.
Absolutely.
The whole theme behind it.
Yeah.
There's your intro right there.
Exactly.
Squirrel. I'd like to be gone, not missed by anyone. Ride into Bhutan, tiger's nests and zongs. Make a list of bad deeds and say it's not me. Love the folks that you love, 'cause there's nothing up above. And take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on yourself. You work hard enough for 2. Take it easy on yourself.
And we're back on the show with my good friend Jamin Zyler.
Hey, Mike.
But we have to interrupt. Can we get some more coffee?
You know what? That is important stuff. I'm right with you there. The
Yeah.
Branch Hill Coffee.
Yay!
Great stuff.
Thank you, Janelle.
Great flavor.
Appreciate it. That's good. Thanks.
To the top, right?
Oh, sure. Even over. Yeah, we know how to clean this.
We tested the cowhides earlier.
That's right.
Billy tested them for us. Yeah.
We,
Amazing.
The first one, the second show, our barista spilled coffee on the guitar, right?
Oh yeah, actually, the lid
Not
came
her.
off. It wasn't. It wasn't
Inside.
such a-
Hopefully not inside.
And actually, on that show, I had a candy apple red matching headstock 64 Strat, and it actually poured all over the headstock.
Oh.
It's one of only
could-
5 guitars with a matching
It's a
headstock.
Mexican
the heads-
blend, and it's a shame it wasn't a Mexican strap.
It's the former barista.
Yeah. Did it make the headstock
Oh, she's
blush?
coming back.
Blush a
Mara
little?
was actually fabulous.
Did it make it blush a little? That old lacquer
You know what it
sometimes if
did?
it gets wet.
I caught it pretty
Caught
fast.
it really quick.
Yeah, and it was my fault because I had screwed the lid on crooked. So when she dumped it, it came off.
You're such a great guy.
It's all my
admitting that.
responsibility.
There you go, Mike. That's the way to do it.
Yes.
So I've known Jamin for a long time.
Yeah, we go back a ways.
We go back.
We were rookies
We're getting
back
old,
then.
buddy. So I can't remember the first time, but I think it was when you were working for a music store that used to exist.
Yeah, that's right.
And you were, I guess, kind enough to call me with guitars that your customers had for sale. And
Yeah, you know, the store I was working for, they weren't interested in vintage. So
yeah, well, they were band instruments mainly, right?
But they let everything go. So I bought a lot, and then I would call you if I didn't have the money.
I did that where I used to work too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why he doesn't work there anymore.
They caught on eventually.
I don't have to.
They caught on eventually and started selling stuff online used.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Mhm. So-
That's cool. Well, that explains why I got cut off then, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know, things change.
But, you know, back in the day, man, there was great guitars to be had, right?
There were.
I can't remember.
Oh.
I remember some early D18s, and, you know, we're acoustic fans.
Yeah, I got a 54 Southern Jumbo from you, which I loved.
Oh, that's
Where is that guitar? I should still have it. but I don't.
And Jamin is a guitar maker, too.
Right, yeah, that's what I
He
understand.
makes wonderful, wonderful instruments. And we were playing
Thank you.
Whispering Beard, which Billy's sound company is the sound company that runs it. And Jamin was set up there.
Yeah, I had my
doing
road rig in
repairs.
the back, just in case. Sean Guile from the Tillers, he breaks a lot of strings. I helped him out.
But anyway, you had your guitar there, and you showed me the
I
guitar
did,
that you
yeah.
made.
Now, is it you mainly do acoustics? I take it. Or?
I mean, no guitar. I mean, as
No,
far as
he's
building,
talking about making.
building, I just build acoustics.
Okay.
But you know,
But you had a
electric.
small-bodied guitar. It was like
Yeah.
an LO kind of.
It was an O-size Martin shape, little oval sound hole.
Yeah.
I made that in honor of my friend Dan Ross, who passed away suddenly last summer.
Oh.
I showed Dan how to build instruments in '96. We met. It was like we loved each other.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't
Our
that
wives
crazy how you
got
meet
jealous
somebody and
even.
they're
It
like
was
instantly now?
Spent a lot of time with him. It was just one of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, he died young, and so I built the guitar. The first guitar he made in my shop, that was kind of a copy of it, similar. But one thing, Dan was a little OCD, so he liked to plan everything. Me, I like to design as I go. So I designed that guitar as I went. I was going to do round, and then I went oval with the sound hole, if you remember. And
You play with sound holes a lot, though.
I do, yeah.
That's cool.
To me, they don't really. This weakens everything because where you need strength on an acoustic is right here.
So why aren't there like sound squares?
Well, I mean, if you put a sound hole here or here, you have to build an access door, which I've done, because you
okay.
can't get in, you can't repair it.
Right now.
That's the reason why the hole is kind of here, I think.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But anyway, you have picked a
Yeah.
Roy Smeck, probably the cleanest Roy Smeck I've ever had. I've always loved these guitars. You know, they made different versions of them. They made that deluxe model, which is mahogany back, and then they made the other grand, I think it is,
Beautiful,
which was
just-
rosewood. And I used to have a grand model which has fancy inlays on it, and it's Brazilian rosewood, or probably not.
No.
People think it's Brazilian
Do you-
rosewood.
Can you tell a real quick history, or anybody know Roy Smeck? Like what?
Yeah, he was just an artist in the 30s and 40s, and he was a famous player, and he played all kinds of different instruments. I don't really know if he was like in vaudeville or what the deal was.
I don't know about him.
Yeah.
But I guess he was good.
Google will tell us all about him.
He's
Yeah.
like pre-Les Paul. Like,
Well, you know, they made all kinds of models with his name on it. They made tenors and,
neat.
you know, ukes and all kinds of different guitars and different instruments and, you know, steels and all kinds of stuff. But that
Yeah, this
guitar
is-
in particular is
man.
one of my favorites because it's
Light as a feather.
It's 12 frets. It has a huge neck. Most of those were actually slide guitars, and they were converted.
what the neck was angled, or?
Well, no, it would have a really tall nut,
Oh, okay.
and it was made to set on your lap and play like a slide. And we converted that guitar.
Nice. What I'm doing for you with that?
Exactly the same
28
exact deal. Yeah.
K, double O. Is that double O? Double O 28K?
Yes.
Yes.
This one we sort of had to, you know, change the intonation a little bit on.
Sure.
Whereas the one you're doing, we probably don't have to. But anyway, you know, I love Gibson flat tops. And these guitars
sound
have a
great.
huge sound because of the 12 frets, the thickness of the body, the placement of the sound hole. And it's one of my favorite guitars.
For those who don't know, the 12th fret means or
The body, the neck joint's the body at the 12th
But like,
fret.
how's that alter the sound?
I tend to think,
Shorter scale,
it makes it a little warmer, a little boomier. I mean, what do you think, Jamin?
Well, I don't know if the 12 fret or versus 14 fret join make that much difference, but what they do is they make the body a little more oblong. This way.
Okay, yeah.
If you were to put this up against a J45, I don't know. It might be the same. It probably is.
Yeah.
But when there's a slotted headstock on a 12 fret to the body,
Yeah, like a Martin.
that definitely alters the tone to me very noticeably.
You know, the large neck, I'm a true believer that large necks make a
this thing is
serious
gigantic.
difference
I
in
love it.
tone and with Les Pauls too. The big necks, you can hear the big necks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a really interesting, strange neck because it's a very strong V.
Look at the width of that.
And that's
Yeah.
one piece of wood, right?
Yeah, it's one piece of mahogany.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a sharp V, and it's almost 2 inches wide.
Yeah, it's classical.
Yeah.
It even looks wide from from
Yeah.
8 feet away.
Jackson Brown is probably the most famous person that plays those models. He came to the store. I can't remember if he got one from us or not, but I think he may have. He's probably got 20 of them now. Who knows?
Yeah.
But,
That's probably true.
and that guitar I sort of kept for me because it was just so pretty, and I found it in the back of an old music store in Toledo. I just happened to be going through, and it was an old music store, and I went in and I said, "Do you have anything?" And the guy says, "I got a couple things in back," and he had that guitar in a case.
Nice.
And something else. I think it was an L1.
Did he know the
really
history of
rare.
it? Like, how many owners?
It was like an old school music store that had been passed through generations.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was like one of his dad's guitars.
Does your heart still pound like it probably did early when you found an instrument? You go, yeah, nice.
So,
Yeah,
Mike,
my heart pounds.
how are you able to vet
account
those on the spot like that? And
What, to tell it's real or
determine
not?
a true value when you're negotiating and you see something that you like?
Well, most of the time the store people are, they price their own. If it's out in the store, it's already priced. But if I see something I like, I've just been doing it for so long. I kind of know. There's so many factors factor in the value, like if it's got any cracks or if its finish has changed or parts are changed. But it's still sort of a love for me. So, I make bad decisions sometimes because I want the guitar for me or something. I mean, I started this for the passion of it, not to make money, even though, it becomes a business.
He's got a very understanding wife.
Yeah. Well, we've been very blessed to be able to survive doing this. So, but yeah, it's just, I don't have that answer other than just experience.
But I mean, you can walk in and see a gem in the back and go, I know what that's worth.
Usually,
for the most part.
Almost always, things go up and down, but the cool thing about the vintage guitar market is it's never really dumped. I mean,
Right.
there's been certain things that have waves that go way up and come down a little bit.
Depends upon who the hot player is.
They don't make any more of these, man.
It is kind of staying, isn't it? The values are kind of staying there. They are, and that's a good thing.
After 9/11 and all that stuff, things went down, but everything collectible went down. But anyway, I'm glad you picked that guitar
Well,
because
thanks,
I really,
man.
really like it.
Yeah,
I
man.
actually thought you were going to pick the D45, but I'm glad you picked that
Well,
guitar.
I did until I saw this. And I picked the case up, and it's so light, I'm going, whatever is in there I know is going to sound amazing.
Air guitar.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't even realize there's a guitar in it.
So what are you playing for us?
I'm going to play a song that I wrote over the past maybe 6 months, something I started. I'm from a coal mining family outside of Pittsburgh, but I met a gal in New Jersey in college. Her family was Park Avenue, New York. And
Did you marry her?
I almost. It's a sad ending on this one. I was telling Andrea earlier. And anyway, meeting her father was hilarious. I'm going to tell the story about meeting her father.
Sure.
So she takes me to New York, and I'm looking, it's like my first time, and I'm looking. She goes, don't look up, they'll think we're not from here. Like, okay, I won't look up. Anyway, so I take my guitar. I had my guitar with me everywhere I went, always. And I'm playing music for her mom while she's cooking, and she's just this darling. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm nervous because, you're meeting the dad.
Sure.
I'm a musician with 2 years of school, basically a bum. And she's Park Avenue, beautiful.
Yeah.
And anyway, her dad walks in and he smiled. He had a beautiful suit on. You could always tell that stuff that hangs beautifully. Yeah. And even then I could tell. And he goes, hi, nice to meet you. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go change. And he comes back out, he flops on a couch, he goes, can I cuss on this show?
Sure.
He goes, oh, what a day. And I went, oh, using the F word, that's a good sign.
He's human.
And then he leans forward, and he's looking over his right shoulder, and he opens up this rosewood box, which was on a beautiful marble chromed coffee table. It's full of rolled joints. And he goes, do you smoke? And I'm like, this is
not
a
in
trap.
front of parents.
He's trying to
Yeah,
it's
a trap.
He's trying to figure out if I'm a druggie. And Melissa says, yeah, Daddy smokes. He goes, oh, thank God. So he puts a joint in my mouth, puts one in his mouth, lights mine, lights his, and says to his daughter, you don't get one, you have asthma. Anyway, it was the beginning. That was 40 years ago.
So what did he do?
Wow.
What was his job?
He was real estate. He was a mortgage banker.
Did he have blonde
Well,
hair?
God, that's gotta be stressful.
No, but he
Poor
dealt
guy.
with- I have stories about that because he was one of those guys that dealt with him there, but we won't talk about it.
Thank God.
So is that, you told me during the break that you met Les Paul.
I did.
Is that
with Mike,
when?
actually.
Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't think of telling the Mike story,
Yeah.
but
Fat Tuesdays? Or-
yeah, Fat Tuesdays on Wednesday night before he did the Meridian. Was that the club that he was doing when he passed? I think it was. It was
Right.
uptown. a
I
little
don't
bit.
Think of, I went to it, but I can't remember.
And Mike
I
looks
lived there
at me,
10
goes,
years and never saw him.
Yeah, Mike says, you want to go see Les Paul? I'm like, Les Paul? You mean the... He goes, yeah, he's playing in this little Italian restaurant down, this little pub. So we go and we're waiting. We're sitting at the bar. There's no stage. This story came up when you mentioned the place that you're playing, that they took the time
Moving
to
the
build a
tables,
stage.
Yeah.
And so it's getting pretty late, and Les Paul comes flying in with his guitar and amplifier. He goes, who wants to help me move tables? And it's real Les Paul like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will. He goes, okay. So here I am. I'm moving tables with Les Paul, and I'm like, wow. I'm looking at him going, that really is him. Here,
All right, who wants to wait tables?
Anyway, he played for us. He said, I got a buddy coming later, but I'm going to just start playing. It was...
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike.
Very cool.
Mike grew up in New York, so I did so many cool things. Now, the sad part of the story is that his daughter died 8 years later, my fiance.
Oh, sorry.
And we were going to be married in May, and
Oh, gosh.
I couldn't even say this until maybe a few years ago, but she was pregnant. So it's like,
Oh, man.
and my music partner. So lost everything.
Oh, man.
Lost everything, but we all survived.
Is that what the
Yeah.
song's about?
The song it's not really that sad. I was telling Andrea that sometimes it's not even good to give away a song, but
Yeah.
Right.
you might get this one a little bit. But so I finally kind of wrote a meeting song about meeting her.
I see.
So it was in Atlantic City.
Did you look up?
Pardon me?
Oh, Atlantic City. I'm sorry.
He said-
All right, but yeah, I don't even know if I have a name for it. Probably long ago. But should I go for it?
Yeah.
Atlantic City, candlelight bar. I was on stage playing music with my friends. She walked by and caught my eye. I was so surprised I forgot the words I was singing. She opened up the curtain, and I looked through the window. I see the sun and the clouds moving by, and I remember all our love. I remember all our love such a long time ago. such a long time ago. We made a life that went on for years. And suddenly one day it all came to an end. Those days are gone, but I'm still here, forever thankful, and I need to make this clear. She opened up the curtain, and I looked through the window. I see the sun and the clouds moving by, and I remember all our love. Oh, I remember all our love, such a long time ago, such a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, Jamin.
What was
Thanks.
her name?
Melissa Adler.
Beautiful.
Her mother was Walter Cronkite's chief of staff, so I spent
Wow.
lots of holidays with Walter.
Oh,
He was fun. Yeah, it was amazing. I'm a coal miner's grandson. And
Yeah, and
you
You're a
meet-
great storyteller too, and
I know.
Well-
my wife made a comment to me this morning at breakfast. She said she talked about the story you told about getting thrown in jail.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh, now everybody knows.
Protecting my daughter at
Yeah.
the music store we were
Oh,
talking about.
yeah, yeah.
But it,
Somebody was harassing her. Don't mess with people.
It was a great, but it was a great story. What stood out was how vivid you told, and the story you told about Melissa was equally so.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic, touching.
It's just
great.
life experience. I mean, I've traveled a lot, and you meet one person, and it can just change your life.
No
forever.
doubt.
I mean, like, wow. And what's really funny is that I really love the show That Girl. You know, I'm in my mid-60s.
yeah.
Barlow.
So there's several opening shots of her walking through town when they're doing the theme song. One of them is she's walking right by a waterfall that's right on Park Avenue, right where her parents, it was on 34th Street, Park Avenue. 77 Park Avenue it was called. And so I had a big crush on her, and Melissa was a lot like her, dark hair. So I kind of grew up and manifested this thing. You know? It's like, whoa! I didn't realize it. I watched
That's
these.
so wild.
I watched an episode a couple years ago, and I'm like, holy cow!
Yeah.
That was.
It all comes
Oh,
together.
you realized it then?
I realized it then.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's really funny. She's still cute. I love her.
So, Jamin, where can people hear your music?
Well, I play with my friend Dennis Henderson. We have a little country blues duo. We play like old-timey country. Dennis used to be Lightning Hopkins' official joint roller.
Ah!
Yeah, he hung out with him.
I wish
down
I
in
could
Houston.
afford one of those.
Yeah. And he met Lightning, and he walks in this cafe, and Lightning is there, and he has his Air Force uniform on. And he goes, "You're Lightning Hopkins." He goes, "Yeah." And he's playing for tips. And he looks right up at Dennis. He goes, "You rolling anything?" He didn't want to talk to some white kid.
I saw a video of
You rolling anything? Dennis says, "Well, no, but I can come back because I'm here all week."
I remember seeing this video of Howlin' Wolf, and Lightning was in the audience, and it was pretty amusing.
Yeah. Oh, he was a character. So we play second Saturday and fourth Friday at a place over on the east side called Rincon Mexicano. Rincon Mexicano. He built the stage, kind of like, again, what you were saying where you gigged last night. He loves music, and he built a stage for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
That's cool, man.
Does he
Can't
still
wait to get
roll?
out there.
Yeah, it's a cool. So second Saturday, fourth Friday, and it's a great gig.
Social media? How do we find you there?
Just Facebook right now. I dropped 2 of my websites.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, I see your videos, but
I don't
you're
even
just
know how
loading
to
them to Facebook.
subscribe yet. I'm trying
Okay.
to subscribe. To
Okay,
this. I'm
yeah,
like-
subscribe to the Village.
That's right. It takes
channel.
me somewhere, and I'm like, well, now what do I do? And I press stuff, and
Yeah,
it's
well, I'll
right.
help you. We'll get one of these kids to help you out.
I know.
There's a third grader somewhere that knows
Exactly.
exactly.
It'll get your bank account.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Thank you. It was
thank
wonderful.
you, Mike.
Yes.
It's good
Yeah,
to be
well
here.
done.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks, Billy. Appreciate it.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
And to me, this is just like a deco masterpiece, you know, made in the 30s, just the top of the line of handcrafted guitars. So I talked Elliot out of it. And then years passed. I kept the guitar. It is candy apple red with a matching headstock. And nobody really knows if they just like did a batch of these or if people ordered them. If you're an Eric Clapton fan, you probably saw him play a Sumner's Telly like this with a Stratocaster neck on it. I got about halfway home and he called me and said, I'm going to sell it to you. So I drove all the way back to Philly after a long week of guitar show. I collect Pelham Blue guitars, and this is one of the rare models. You see Pelham Blue in a lot of guitars. Not really a lot, but more often in SGs and things like that. You never see a 345. This is a 59 Les Paul. It used to belong to Brad Whitford, and it is very figured, which is what makes him the most valuable. This guitar is nicknamed Snake.
Well, we're back on the show. Billy, where did you find this guy?
I have no idea.
I'm on the wrong side of the glass.
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong side of the
We
camera.
pulled him from production, threw him into the scene, and now he's playing guitar.
Like I said, it's director's cut.
Yeah, it is director's cut. So, okay, I got to tell you guys what it's like around here. So me and Elton, we edit these shows for a month straight after we film them. He's never actually been, well, maybe the first one. Since the first one, you
Yeah.
haven't been at a shooting.
Weaseled my way out of it for.
Yeah, he weaseled his way out
You
of
know
it.
you're going to be looking at it for the whole month.
Well, I have so much fun telling people I'll run into an artist that was on the show, and they come in and say hi, and I go, I'm sick of you. And they look at me like, what is your problem? I'm like, I've been staring at you for a month.
So
I'm
this is
tired of
Elton
hearing
Clifton.
your voice.
Elton Clifton, he's one of my producers.
That's not a
He's-
stage name. That's your actual name. Right?
Yeah, it is.
My grandfather's name, yeah.
He's an engineer here. He does our audio. He helps me with the show. We spend every day staring at the screen and
Man of many hats.
doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like putting your head inside of a box and stuff like
And
that.
on fire.
That was he yelled that to me out in the street.
Yeah.
He's like, tomorrow I'll put Will's head in a box and set it on fire.
The people were eating their store were like,
Yeah.
what the hell? So, yeah, well, I got him here by letting him play. That's
the only way he'll get on.
So we originally had the idea that we were going to have Jamin sitting there. This was my idea, but he wouldn't go for it. And then I was going to shoot a scene of like him in the shower. And then he was going to, all of a sudden, I was going to zap him here. And he was going to be sitting there semi-nude.
Oh, dude.
Like he came straight from the shower. He was just going to appear in the seat. But he wouldn't go for it.
Wages
Well, at
won't
least his
cover nude
head's not
shots,
a
man.
box and on
It's a
fire.
little risky.
Yeah, no nude shots. Nobody wants to see that. So.
So, I've been looking at your videos that you guys have been doing. We got one of them up on the Village. I love your work.
Which was shot where?
Downstairs at the
Right
Village
here.
Sights on Stage, yeah.
And that got a lot of traction. We re-released it. That was Best of Me.
Yeah.
The first track off of McCarthy Union's debut album, of which Elton is a band member, Alex Lush, Greg Tudor, and of course Scott Hacker, who was in many ways the brainchild of a lot of this material, who brought me in to kind of help co-write, as well as Elton. And it's funny because that album, I won't call it an accident.
It was
but
an accident.
It was a collection of kind of random ideas, and Scott said, let's give these some shape. So he brought me in to kind of help create some. And it's funny that you mentioned earlier, Andrea, that how your process works. And very much for me, I am a singing drummer. So a lot of what I come up with melody-wise are usually either built off of someone's guitar riff, you know, and the words come later. It's really the structure of how do I want to sing counter to this or complementary to this. You know, you don't want to always follow the bouncing ball. You know, if I hear something, I try to think in different terms of what melody would pair well.
The writing process must be interesting with you guys, since you have two guitar players that come with ideas. How does that go down? Do you guys bounce ideas off each other, Elton, and Billy sitting there with the melodies? Or?
Yeah, unfortunately, the first record, he got a lot of like finished stuff with scratch vocals on it, and then we're like, okay, we're ready for you to sing. And he just came in and just, you know, did a fabulous job shaping the melodies. And this time around, we're actually doing a lot of that beforehand, so he doesn't, you know, his feet onto the fire or whatever. You know, he's got more time to work that stuff
Does
out.
Scott bring you lyrics, or do you come up with the lyrics?
So in the first collection of songs for the first album, you know, there was a lot of songs in various states of completion, and even the ones that he said, I've got an idea for this and I have an idea for the lyrics, I would say, okay, that's great, that's established. Let me throw this at you. So in a lot of those songs, some of those melodies were completely changed and lyrics married, and other songs there was kind of a collaborative effort to kind of say, okay, I see where you're going with this, and I want to just try and, you know, nudge the bridge this way a little bit, or I have an idea for the chorus. So it's certainly as you know, democratic as a process can be in terms of writing. The egos are set aside. You know, we've all been doing this for longer than we care to admit. So,
do you ever like take two songs and put them together? Like, oh, this might.
Yeah,
work with this one?
there have been scenarios where things have been pieced together in that way. Really, when you're able to put your ego aside. And let's all be honest here. None of us should be anything but humble. You know, we're so lucky to be able to do.
This guy.
But in all reality, we're so lucky to be able to do what we do. We get to surround ourselves with a community of musicians in Cincinnati. You know, I'm a transplant here. I grew up a number of different places, but ended up here, and I've seen it. I've done it. I've toured the world. I've toured all over the United States. Cincinnati uniquely is gifted with such a wellspring of talented musicians.
You saw it here today. Wow.
No doubt. And you can see it any night of the week. I mean, this is why I am oftentimes, maybe I overdo it, but I want our fan base and our friends to know how much we value that they come out and support people
that's what's
in this
most
town.
important to all of us. You know?
And I get to see it from both ends of the camera, so to speak, because with Mind Ignition, we're doing production for festival season, for the Reds, for corporate clients, and our studio also still is active with a lot of local artists. So being able to see it from both sides of that camera really makes me appreciate the support. You know, we can play music all day long. But, you know, if you're going to do it in your basement to an audience of one, it changes a lot of your motivations.
Get out then.
You need to get out of your basement, William.
Yes. But getting back to the second album, the first one was kind of accidentally successful. As you know, we shot Best of Me, our first release, here, and had a blast doing it down here in Covington. It got a lot of traction with really a soft release, you know, several thousand views, and it really helped establish our fan base, because McCarthy Union was brand new, although all of its members have been active for 30 years, you know, in the scene. And the second album is much more thought out.
It's got a through theme or something.
It does. There's a through line that moves through this, and you know, in my thinking, you know, I talked with Elton and Scott about this. I want it to resonate with that punch to the face rock that we forgot. You know, that Guns N' Roses vibe. You know, there hasn't been like a really strong, tough rock album that's come out in a while. You know, with the exception of bands like Foo Fighters, who I love, but. That was my mentality with that. I was like, send me something to chew on here.
Well, it's like, you know, you got your whole life writing your first, and then the sophomore one is
5 months.
Yeah, it's like, but it really kind of shows how the band can grow, you know, or once you start getting used to one another and how the vibe is.
Yeah, I just want a little spit and vinegar, you know.
And you said there was a theme throughout the album, or the songs.
Rock
do you
opera.
mean the theme is that style, or is there like a story?
Yes, the style.
Okay.
But, you know, the songs themselves kind of lend themselves to a little bit edgier.
Oh, that's great.
Theme,
having said that,
lyrically.
we're going to play like a little pretty tune today.
Having said that, the exact opposite will happen.
But what we're doing today is nothing like that.
Yeah. So, and this goes back to what I was saying. The first album was more of a tapestry. You know, it was a collection. You know, Best of Me was kind of a punch to the face. Love Me That Way is kind of an iconic pop vibe. You know, that was the second release, and this will probably be our third release, Prison Cell, which is a more heartfelt song that speaks really about how, and I don't know how much social media plays into this, but, you know, we are, you know, I try to explain this to my sons. We have a before, you know, being the age that we are.
Yeah.
We are pre-cell phone, pre-social media, so we know what life was like prior to that, and we get to see it from the other side. My kids
And the
have
history of music that we all know.
Yeah,
I don't
kids
think
don't
the
even
kids
know.
Yeah.
No, they do not know what that existence is like. And
Blink
so
182's punk rock, you know.
right. And this song kind of speaks to the idea that we all, especially because you're so exposed and so
out there,
available,
right, yeah.
available through social media and even through your social experiences and even to your wife or your husband or your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, there's a social aspect of yourself that you
Everything's
showed everyone.
public.
Yeah, it's a
And
projection in a way.
And it's instantaneous. You can get a hold of somebody right now. You don't ever have to wait for anything.
It is.
Which is, I think, against
true.
the
But as they're
kind of the grain.
talking, I mean.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody's going to focus anymore because it's always something new. You
The
know?
dumbing down
Right.
of society.
So this song kind of speaks to that, and it brings up the notion that we are so exposed and available and viewed and liked and
Connected.
disliked and whatever, that while you have all of these eyeballs on you and all these people around you in a social experience, you can still feel more alone than ever, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why we refer to it as
Yeah, I think it amplifies.
we're in our own prison cell, you know?
Cool, man. We can't wait to hear it.
Prison cell phone.
True. You say we should go out late. It's gonna be the greatest day. I know now what to call my soul. You gonna be there when I get old. You can be where I got my head. I can never be wishing well. While you're there, it's the one we had. We can be whatever we had. You can see me, never gonna feel the warmth that got away. You can see me, never gonna tell. I'm alone in my prison cell. Friday night and we're going out late. Gonna party till a dying day. All the dudes with the revved up cars. Just get 'em faster, we'll go far. You can see me, never gonna feel the one that got away. You can see me, never gonna tell. I'm alone in my prison cell. prison cell. My prison cell. My prison cell.
Awesome. Great job, guys. Great job.
Man, those Mel Bay books like paid off pretty good. What number?
Apparently, I skipped the finger pick chapter.
No, that sounded great, man. It sounded really good.
Thank you. That's
Look
the first time
at
we've done a
this.
stripped down version of that. So,
So, you know,
see how to go.
spending a lot
It
of
really
time.
lends itself to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, spent a lot of time with Alton. I kind of knew what kind of guitar he would like. So I just recently got the guitar. It is a
Chubby.
Super 400. It's from 1967.
Is that the Ted Nugent guitar?
No, that's actually a that's a Birdland.
Oh, that's right.
Did you see
This
the
is a
instant
bigger
drop?
body than a Birdland.
Did you see the instant drop E tuning?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the biggest jazz box that Gibson made. They're 18. That one is what they call blonde finish, which is natural.
Got the Bigsby.
Yeah, with a Bigsby. Solid spruce top. You know, super fancy inlays, multiple bounds.
Mini humbucker?
No, those are full size.
Oh, they are.
humbuckers.
They just
Oh,
look
they look,
mini.
just it's so big. It's like
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like when I wear a Les
They look
Paul.
like
It's
they're
like, is
mini.
that a mini Les Paul?
Yeah.
That's full size.
Flip it over for a second, E.
Which way you want me to do it?
Show the back.
I'm kind of.
You know, it's a beautiful piece of maple all throughout the neck and the body.
Wow.
It has a stinger with an inlay on the back of the headstock,
That's awesome. Look at
which is
that.
cool. And the sweetest lady sold that to me. It was her dad's.
Yeah, I was here that day. Yeah. I was-
Yeah, when I got it, I just want to talk about this for a second. It had this pickguard on it, which if you look at that pickguard, you'll notice that it's what they call gassing. What happens to the
I do
plastic?
that often.
Yeah, well, I know you do.
I knew there was a line coming.
I know only too well.
Oh, I think I'm gassing now too.
So what happens is it starts kind of eat on itself. The plastic eats on itself and it falls apart. And this happens with the plastic from the era. And I actually had it on the guitar. I had tried to seal it, and it broke off earlier today. But you know, that it's a strange thing because what happens is it eats away the case, it eats away the finish of the gold pickups. And when I opened the case after she brought it in, it was totally covered in this green stuff.
Oh man.
And I don't know if you can see these little hairs. That's because the case started to come apart too. So if this ever happens on your guitar, you should immediately take it off and put it somewhere else.
So, Mike, do you do, in general, a lot of these repairs yourself, or do you have a luthier or someone else?
We have
to-
a couple guys.
So would they
Jamin does
use-
some work for us. We have Jeff Foster's our main guy. We have a couple people. I do the basic kind of stuff. I do.
The resurrection of this instrument from the day that it came into the store to now is quite unbelievable as well.
It was covered in green. It was totally green, like mold was all over it. And, you know, it's been a process, and I'm just so happy to get it. I love Super 400s. I'm not a big jazz box guy, but I really like this
Appreciate you
instrument.
bringing it for me, man.
No problem, man. You sounded great. I know that there was some debate on whether or not it should have been acoustic, but I think it was the perfect choice.
Yeah, it was fun to
Yeah.
do that song stripped down like that because,
Yeah.
like you, you know, there's a lot of power
There's
in production.
900 guitar parts on
Yeah.
that song that I put on personally.
Yeah.
You know, down to
And
one.
I'm on day 4 of vocals at, you know, whatever o'clock it is, so wasn't sure if the
Oh, you
price
sound
point-
great, man.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
voice is magical, brother.
Well,
it sounds
thanks.
really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's nice to hear you in the setting where I can really hear you
You
naturally.
should hear him
no
do
PA.
with Billy Rock Band. He does, and I played with them some at the beginning, and then
Yes.
sometimes when it's a really good day, he'll call me to sub with him,
Ah,
which is a fantastic night of music. But he does Kashmir
yeah.
while he's playing the drums
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
singing, and I'm
That's
like, do you
crazy.
have 5 brains in here or something?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because no.
Yeah,
I
I've
wonder-
played that song before, and it's like it tripping on a step. If you get off, you're doomed. So that's pretty
Actually,
cool.
that's not nearly as tricky as a song like Reelin' in the Years. Because, you know, the song,
Okay.
the lyrics aren't sang as much as spoken, right? You know?
So that's harder for you to like talk and play.
You know, when you're following the bouncing ball, I can kind of match it up to as I'm drumming, I'm
Yeah, but it's
subdividing.
like a stream of
I see.
like, you know,
Yeah.
But in reeling, you're doing a single hand shuffle while you're going.
Yeah.
Some of the words come fast, some of them come slowly.
Yeah, it's more random.
Yes.
That's tough.
Yes. But it's like anything else.
And you do both of those songs fantastically.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, he does.
It's a
As-
muscle
as
memory
is everything
thing
else
more
on
than
your set
anything.
list.
So tell us where we can find all your stuff, Billy.
So the best hub to find any activity that I'm involved in would be BillyRockMusic.com. I have sub-sites in there that take you to Mind Ignition, our production company, Billy Rock Band, the touring stuff that I do with Philip Myers, and lastly, McCarthy Union. So you can find out dates that involve any or all of those acts, and there's merchandise, content, all kinds of things that are there for you.
Well, make sure you go out and support all the bands. Find all their Facebook pages, all their social media. Buy some merch. Get out and see a show. That's
your
really
homework.
important.
Please, thank you.
Yeah. Support the Village YouTube channel and support all our shows. We're looking for subscribers. We're trying to get to the big magic 1,000, so have your friends subscribe.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back. Well, we're back on the show. This has been like the absolute greatest time having you guys here. I love
of
it.
fun.
I love having my Sundays with my friends, playing guitars,
And me
talking
here.
music, and William, having him here. So yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but William has healed his spot.
Wow.
The coffee healed him last month.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, make sure that
Thank you
sup-
for caring. You know,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Thanks for
Keep
all
the
the
cards and
letters and
letters,
support and all the prayers. It really helped.
Mm-hmm.
So
The support mainly, like
Yeah.
50 cents here. And there.
So anyway, this was a great show. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely. Good.
Thank you,
Good
Mike.
time.
It was fabulous.
And oh yeah, real fast. This is the guitar that was not on the show. It's a really, really, really rare electric Guild. It was custom ordered. It's from 1967, and I actually brought it for Drew, and someone bought it last night. So
Wow. I've never seen one.
yeah, it's really, really rare
Yeah.
thing. So it's going away, but I thought I'd show it before it's
Beautiful.
gone. And thank you everybody for coming. It was
Yes.
a great show. Thanks to Mike's
Wonderful.
Music for the guitars, and
Yes.
big, huge thanks to Branch Hill for the
Especially
amazing
this.
coffee.
Great coffee.
Yeah, the
this
coffee,
is
which
very
kept us
good.
buzzing the whole show.
And thank
Yeah.
you, Janelle, for
Yeah, and
Thank
thank you,
you.
Janelle,
Serving.
for
Yes.
serving us.
Mike, thank you for all you do for local music.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
It's huge.
That's true.
thanks.
It's good to have a forum like this where people like us, we live in a paradox. We're always working, so we never get to see each other perform,
Yeah.
True.
at least live. And
Not much.
this is special, being able to spend time with other musicians when you don't get that chance normally.
Well,
said,
thank you
Billy.
guys. Thank you very much.
warms the cockles.
Yeah.
Does.
Cockles, what is that, a word from the 30s?
I always wondered what
glad he
cockle
finished
shell.
it.
Yeah.
Silver bells and
I know
cockle
my
shells.
cockles warm.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
All right.
Mike.
Thank
Coffee
you.
up. Yeah.
Hey,
Woo!
I drank
I made it
mine.
hard by putting guitars in everybody's hands.
Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday fun day.
don't spill.
Sunday fun day.
Cheers.
Scratch the surface, tear the shield away, and see the light of the day. Turn away from the sinking stone, so long attached to your heel.
Release your fury and you're coming back. You are stronger than you know. You're strong.
She opened up the curtain, and I looked through the window. I see the sun